It has come to my attention that I play a lot of games, and because I play a lot of games, sometimes they kind of merge together in the old brainium, and as such, I have troubles remembering the titles of certain games I've played that I'd like to revisit. So I had this idea about making a monthly gaming diary where I will upload clips, thoughts, basic hints and tips, if required, of what I have played that month. I figure it might be a good idea, and also if y'all are watching this, you might actually find a game that you would also like to play that I have played. Man, I'm bad at intros. Okay, so first of all, following on from last month, we've got Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but the Jack the Ripper DLC. So in this DLC, you get to play as Jack himself. So you get these whole psychotic breaks and everything, like, you know, text coming up on the screen, you get new takedowns. The only thing I don't like about him is the voice kind of gets a little bit irksome, like he's very sort of like, I'm the Ripper. Like, it's very, very overly London, if you know what I mean. I am the Ripper. So this DLC introduces fear gadgets and fear takedowns, and also explains some of like the perceived supernatural aspects of Jack the Ripper. You know, like spring-heeled Jack, and oh, he could breathe fire and stuff like that if you read the myths. Also, I will say, with the fear gadgets and everything, I did get this pretty awesome glitch where this guy just literally face plants so hard.
I was once the...
Oh no, not this!
Another thing this DLC introduces is crime scene investigations, which I've actually done one of these Jack the Ripper tours in London, and they talked through like all the murders and like how they were left and everything. And I've got to say, I do not blame the creators of this game for putting the sheet over them, because it was gruesome basically how these ladies were found. So yeah. But yeah, these crime scene investigations are really fun. Like, you have to interact with the environment in certain ways. Like, for example, this part here, you get like a part of writing on a wall, and like you're looking around the room. Anything with the yellow marks are things that can be investigated, and it comes up with like text afterwards saying what it is, along with like basic notes on there. So like, for example, there it says like, oh, the door was moved because you've got like a line in the blood there, so you have to like align the door with that blood splatter, and then find the spot in the room where the door aligns with that part on the door. It's cool. Like, I like this aspect of the game, I'm not gonna lie. It's very Batman-esque. Next up we have Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, Everybuddy, which was released on the PlayStation 4, and it's a bit of a dungeon crawler, roguelike type thing. So to start with, I'll start with the premise of the game, which is that you're a Chocobo, obviously, and alongside your travelling companion Sid.
Hey, the name's Sid. This here's my buddy Chocobo.
You get transported to this world called Lost Time, where the inhabitants have to routinely erase their memories using this thing called the Bell of Oblivion, because they had a near cataclysmic event from this thing called the Destroyer, who feeds on negative memories. So the Bell of Oblivion wipes their memories clean, but it's like that whole, like, is it better to remember? And face the consequences along with also remembering your painful memories, or is it better to live in ignorance?
You hear that? Sounds like a bell ringing. Wait, what?
Ah, that's the bell of oblivion. It makes you forget just about everything.
More importantly, who are you again?
Along the course of the game, you realise eventually that the Destroyer was actually one of these 4 Guardians, the other ones being the Leviathan, Phoenix, and Alexander. And I've got to say, Phoenix in this game looks creepy as hell. I mean, look at this fucking thing.
Oracles who protect the crystal, we will grant your desire.
And next up, I want to talk about the music in this game, which with any Final Fantasy game, the music is a highlight. And it's early on in the game when you get introduced to Dungeon Hunter X that when his theme plays, I was just like, wait a minute, I recognize this song from Final Fantasy VIII.
When you need him, he's there. Whistling the tune. He's there. His eyes gently sparkling behind his mysterious mask. Nobody knows who he is, but everybody knows he's mine. Dun dun dun! Have no fear! Dungeon Hero X is here, goodbye!
And it was because of that that it led me down this whole rabbit hole of trying to find which songs in which games had music in this game, and I ended up playing through quite a bit of Final Fantasy 1 through to 9 this month, just to get to those points of those games where I could get those songs and match them up to this game, which, just to sort of like put it in its own category, I'm going to put right at the end of this video if you want to watch that as well. Another thing about Final Fantasy games is normally there's mini games. This one doesn't have that many. It just has a fishing mini game, and it took me just a little bit too long to realise that the fishing line is not coming from Chocobo's asshole. Another link to past Final Fantasy games is return character names like Biggs and Wedge.
We've just lost Wedge the Dragoon and Biggs the Dark Knight.
And also Sid.
Hey, the name's Sid.
But the thing is, with this game, you actually have 2 Sids, not just the one.
What can I do for you, Chocobo?
Ranking up in this game has the classic victory fanfare that we all know and love. So one thing about this game that you need to recognise quite early on is, as well as your health points and magic points, you also have a hunger gauge, which if it goes too low you start losing health. And also Chocobo starts looking like he's attending a metal concert. Another thing is that quite a lot of the time when you pick up items, you don't really recognise what they are, which is the purple texted items in this list. So you have to appraise them. You've got certain skills that do it, or you can get like items that can appraise them. But sometimes they show up as quite iffy things. For example, hey dude, it's 420. You got those sticky greens? Dude. Good evening and welcome to Professor Chocobo's World of Information. Did you know that 420 is also the birthday of one Adolf Hitler? Don't believe me? Look it up. Time to move on to the gripes I've got with this game. There are some annoyances, like there's a certain status condition called Confuse, which honestly just as soon as you can get some kind of item or something that cures confusion, it is the worst, believe me. Also, you can have items stolen by certain enemies, and that's also quite annoying. But on the plus side, as well as having something stolen from me, it gave me this incredible meme in return. Also, I know I'm going to hell for this, but I do not like Chocobo as a character. Like, I normally love the Chocobos, but my god, the noises Chocobo makes in this game just grate after a while. Honestly, it is the worst sometimes. Saying that though, the genuine joy in its quez when this character is crying, just out of context, and me clipping early and everything, just makes this moment so good.
I mean, I'm not normal. Wait, am I crying?
I've just got to quickly talk about this secondary character as well, called Volg. He is like the coolest Chocobo design. He looks like he's inspired a little bit by Shadow the Hedgehog, or even from a Final Fantasy anime called Final Fantasy Unlimited. Deep cut, I know.
That's my name, Volg. Irma's companion, Volg.
Spoilers alert, but the final boss honestly looks like he'd be more at home in a Shin Megami Tensei or Persona game. Because, I mean, look at this thing.
Eliminate everything. I will return all things to darkness. The time of darkness has come. I am the god of destruction.
And with that long speech he gives, like, honestly, I just want to introduce him to Jack from Stranger of Paradise so badly.
The time of darkness has come. I don't give a fuck who you are.
All in all, though, the game is actually quite a bit of fun. If you're a completionist, though, I don't recommend it, because some of the later dungeons, like optional dungeons, are ridiculously difficult. And there's one trophy involving getting to 500 waves of a dungeon, and in order to get another trophy, you need to do those 500 waves twice. It's such a long game. Like, if I was on the completionist channel, I would have marked this game as a finish it rather than a complete it. So yeah, on to the next game. Ooh, I totally forgot to mention about this woman who has probably the most depressing line in the entire game, right here.
Ooh, have you heard?
Also, I totally forgot about this fortune's coming, doopy-doopy-doo goblin, who I absolutely adore.
Fortune's coming, doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Fortune! Cheers it!
Next up, we have Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. I haven't got many clips from this because I only played through 1 through to 9 just to get certain music clips for the Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon part. So I just want to talk about this quick cutscene where Selphie is introduced, where she tumbles down this rock and then looks up at you. I just want to see if you notice something first of all, because now we're going to replay it. And what is with this tongue and wink? Like, what the hell? Like, oh, I've just had a traumatic brain injury, but do I still look cute? I swear to God, that my finest brain. Ha ha. I'm Robin Williams. Ha ha. And I just want to talk about how 90s this cutscene is, because it's like you've got this multiple camera angle action dive from Squall there, and then you've got this whole running towards the camera action scene. The secondary character turns back to look to see if they're coming. The whole villain, is he dead? No, he's still alive, and now he's chasing you still. And then it's this next part where it's like the villain's camera angle kind of thing, slow motion dive towards the vehicle, like chain gun going off, character just makes it, and then it's like not really many references I can make right now, but in a second you've got the whole leaving at the point of the explosion, like explosions behind them, and then finally riding off into the sunset. It's so 90s, man. Next up, we have this game, just simply called Difficult Climbing Game. It looks like shovelware, let's be honest, but it's actually quite fun. Graphically, it's quite poo, but it's sort of, I'm certain it's inspired by Bennett Foddy's Getting Over It. But in this game, you play a character called Frank Richards. He has to climb this tower, this tower of objects in order to rescue his girlfriend who's been kidnapped. She's at the top, and basically once you rescue her, you reach enlightenment. And all of what I've just said is completely fabricated. None of that's true. The game has no story whatsoever. You just climb for the sake of climbing. And I mean, honestly, in video games, do you really need anything more than here's a fun time? Like, if you're having fun, who cares? Why, I will say this game, the footage I got from this game is probably one of the hardest times I've had in editing, purely because I just kept getting lost in it. I was just I'll just keep watching until the next point I need to clip or whatever. And then before I knew it, it was 10 minutes had gone past, and I was like, oh my God, I've just been literally staring at the screen. I don't know, it's a weird game. It's just quite relaxing to watch. The music's very sort of relaxed too. It is frustrating when you fall, I will say that. But aside from that, I mean, the Falls is really like a lapse of concentration. Like, it's not an exceptionally hard game. It's just a nice game to just put on, chill, and just see if you can beat your previous times. Also, I've got to say, it's really fun doing little swings to ledges and stuff like that. Another really fun thing in this, as well as like the whole swinging to save yourself, is like ways to save yourself as well.
What?
Like here, you've got this red rock, which is the one type of like surface you cannot climb, and you slip down quite easily as well. Being a physics-based game, there are times when it kind of freaks out on itself, like now, for example. And now, moving on from one female British protagonist referencing Alice in Wonderland to another.
The madhouse. Lambeth Asylum. Jack lures me through the looking glass.
So where's Avalon?
I don't know. On the other side of the looking glass, perhaps?
That's right, we're on to Tomb Raider Legend. Now this is the PS5 upscale of the PS2 version, which is definitely evident in the unlockables gallery. Now, this was the Back to the Roots game after Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness, and I've got to say, man, they absolutely nailed it. This is absolutely my favourite iteration of Lara, even more than the most recent Lara, and, you know, it's like, this one has, like, cheesy handstand ledge climbs.
Alistair, me too and I.
And of course, the classic Lara Brit wit.
That sounded permanent.
Death by irony is always painful. Amateurs. Hello, lads.
Where's your command center?
Не отвечай ей! Что здесь нужно? Погоди! Если она использует код без ключа, то сработает тревога, и центр придет на подмогу! Да ты шо? Мы здесь охраняем только снег и звериную мочу, или ты хочешь сам идти? Through the gate! The code is K1879!
Спасибо. How'd you like him in your dachi?
Now in this game, gone are Lara's pointy boobs, but we have to talk about her pointy penis.
Perhaps she found or learned something down there that she wanted to keep to herself.
Oh!
And obviously that was a glitch just for fun. Lara crotch. Lol. The collectibles in this game actually unlock things like, which is just not a thing in modern gaming now. Like, if you get the collectibles in this game, you unlock like cheats, costumes, weapon upgrades, character models, videos. It's just so much awesomeness to unlock. Now, not for nothing, and not to sound like a perv or whatnot,
They don't seem quite so keen on visitors these days.
But hey, you're the one with the guns.
You can't blame me for knowing how to accessorize. Any word from Anaya?
but this game has, in my opinion, the best Lara outfit in any game. Now, if you're like me, I know what you're thinking.
Please, destroy me!
Now, obviously, I just threw that in just for a laugh, but the game also has an unlockable Soul Reaver sword, which is just incredible, by the way, because like, I'm a huge fan of Soul Reaver. Like, just like when I saw this as an unlockable, I was just like, are you serious? And also, like, one of the costumes in the game is like a goth outfit, and when you couple the two together, you just I mean, meet Lara Goth, you know. And carrying the theme of costumes, I've got to say, these show up in cutscenes, and some of them make absolute comedic gold.
Get down!
You American?
British.
And following on from that, I absolutely love this Brit top because it honestly gives me like Captain America vibes, but like the British version. But I think Lara needs to learn her superhero landing with. The bike levels, like the one that's playing right now, are pretty great, but I've got to say the bike is super hard to control on normal levels. I mean, it happens once on the rooftop level, but I mean, you'll see what I mean.
Lara, what exactly are you doing?
So the first time I played this game was way back on the Xbox 360. And replaying it now, I totally forgot about this awesome Easter egg.
That was brilliant.
Bearing in mind, I didn't add the sound effects for the gold there. That was actually in-game. And the characters in this game are good for the most part. I've got to say though, this interaction sort of threw me off a little bit.
I'm very relieved to find you here.
I am relieving myself too.
Now, being a product of the early 2000s, hence this nostalgic awesomeness to start the game. Let's hear that again. And again. Okay, that's enough. But it means it unfortunately suffers from quick time events. These are hilarious to fail though, because the ragdoll in this game is just incredible. Also, I have to say, like, the ending to this game, like, it's definitely sets itself up for the sequel, and like you get to see like a genuinely like really pissed off Lara, which is like one of the first times you see that, and honestly, it just makes such a dramatic moment.
Make sense right this second, or I swear I'll execute you where you stand!
I told you to pull out the sword. I told you!
Where is my mother?
Avalon! It's not a myth. Don't you get it? You'll never understand. I'm wasting my breath.
From this moment, your every breath is a gift from me.
And now, before heading on to the next game, I'm just going to end on a random meme.
That was too close.
The tower in the sands. That's the last place anyone ever saw my grandfather. The mystery of the airship right within my grasp. The trail of clues all ended here.
Jack lures me through the looking glass.
The looking glass?
The looking glass.
The looking glass?
The looking glass.